what does it mean to be ace, grace, demi, aro? What's the difference between all these little different definitions that seem to kind of fall under the ace umbrella, but how can you be one without the other, or one and the other as well? You know, what are all those things?
All right. Well, they all, like, ace is, or asexual is the big picture, the big umbrella where you fall into. And then you can have grace, which is graysexual, demisexual, and within those, you can then have the romantics. So you have the aromantic, grayromantic, biromantic, panromantic, heteromantic, homoromantic, all of those. You have a million of those. So the difference between...
Is homoromantic when you love homos?
Yes. Exactly. That would be correct, actually.
I guess technically, no.
You're not wrong.
No, it's when you are interested in a romantic partner of a similar gender.
Yeah.
Same or similar.
Same or similar, yes. And so that's the difference for the sexual part of it and for the romantic part of it. For myself, I say that I am heteroromantic asexual, in that I am attracted romantically to the opposite, or somebody who identifies as the opposite gender, usually male. But I don't have, but for sexuality wise, asexuals do not experience sexual attraction, which for some people it's a weird thing to define, and it's something that a lot of people, it's a gray area of what that means. For most asexuals, what it means is that, like, you know, when you see like a beautiful actor, very aesthetically pleasing actor or actress, and you're like, man, they're on my bang list, basically. You know, they're on my it's okay to cheat on my wife list. You know, when couples have that really weird list, they have those, like, I'd bang that person. Aces don't have that response. We don't, like, a one-night stand is not at all possible. Really, because you don't have that need for sexual intercourse with another person. There's no need for it. There can be sex positive or sex repulsed as well. So there are aces who will participate in it, but they don't crave it. They don't need it. If they want to please their partner, then they're sex positive. If they have no interest whatsoever, do not want to experience whatever, that's sex repulsed.
Can I ask a thing about that? Is it like okay, you know, for how would that work in a relationship? I mean, let's say an ace person is with a sexual person and the ace person is not sex repulsed. Is that, like, okay for them, or is it some kind of, you know, pressure manipulation? I don't know. It feels, I'm just being a devil's advocate here because I know that it's not.
It's okay.
It's a question that I see come up a lot, you know, like, isn't that kind of wrong?
Am I not really ace then, kind of thing?
No, it's more like, well, you might be really ace, but, like, is it wrong for you to do the sex part just for your partner, basically?
I don't think it's necessarily wrong, because it depends on the relationship. Mm-hmm. It depends on if it's a healthy one,
right? Because
if that's the only thing, and then your partner doesn't do necessarily the things that you want to do, not necessarily like that, then it just depends on the relationship itself. Not necessarily a bad thing to do if it's something that you want to do. If you want to participate in it, then it's fine. If it's against your will, obviously, no, it's not fine.
Right.
Very not right.
Right.
But you shouldn't feel afraid to talk with your partner about it either.
That is a golden rule that I feel like the hets have a lot of trouble with sometimes, and really could stand to learn from the LGBT community, who really does this, like, really, I mean, talking about the stuff, talking about all the stuff, and not being afraid to talk about the stuff. It's like a major thing, especially on TV, especially in, like, rom-coms.
TV.
Oh my God. Just freaking talk to each other. You know what I mean? Just talk.
The TV aces are all robots, and that drives me insane. Or we're prude robots.
Oh,
It's just bad. But so with that, you have the sex repulsed, you have sex positive. With the like aromantics means they don't crave any romance. They don't necessarily want any hugs or kisses or anything like that. Not into it. It is possible to be aromantic but not asexual as well. Just throwing that out there. I don't know much about it, but it's a thing. With Grace and Demis. So a demi, and this is something that I still kind of borderline am not sure for myself, but for demiromantics, it's you have to establish a kind of bond with the person before you can experience sexual attraction. So you have to kind of like be friends first. So demis are the heck no to the one night stands. They cannot do it. It does not work for them at all. And that's where I'm not sure yet for myself, but that's my own thing. Cause like, I don't know. I haven't had those experiences in like 10 odd years or something. So I don't know, but for demis, that's their full thing. And this is where demis really get pushed out of LGBT spaces, especially if you are demisexual who is heteroromantic. It's like, well, obviously you're just a het who's picky. And that's what it's awful.
Oh.
It's so bad.
Okay.
It drives me insane. And that's where I've had my own issues with it because I am asexual who is heteroromantic. And people are just like, well, obviously you haven't met that one yet. Or you haven't done it. And it's so bad. Yeah. So that's that. With graysexuals, it's a gray area. It's kind of experiencing sexual attraction once in a while or for certain people. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's from a bond like demis. It could just happen, but it doesn't happen often enough. And I feel bad for a lot of grays because I feel like they get to be the most confused with themselves because they're constantly questioning it based on what society has told them they're supposed to be. So I feel like graysexuals get one of the roughest paths under the asexual umbrella because they are always like, but I'm attracted to this person, but not these people here. Yeah. Definitions of everybody.
You know, I really have an issue with people under ABC umbrella, whatever it is, umbrella, getting like hate from inside the community. That's a real big thing. Basically from anybody who is not the L or the G, we all experience it.
Yeah.
And which is really like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? If you're not a lesbian or gay, then, you know, we all hear it for one reason or another. Bisexual people who show up with an opposite gender partner to Pride, or aces who are like, well, this is for sexual minorities. You know, this is for people who experience attraction in different ways, and you guys don't experience attraction at all, and so therefore you don't belong here. Or trans people, where it's like, you know, your thing is actually a gender identity and not a sexuality. So like, why are you even here? And, you know, etc. Intersex. I don't even know. People who are like not sure. I don't know why there is a lot of inter-community hate, and that is really upsetting because, you know, we all experience there is one experience that is universal to anyone under the rainbow, which is that we spend a lot of time not knowing who we are and not sure who to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And then, which is the main reason we need pride and representation, and to hear adults talk about it, and comprehensive sex education that covers all of these things. And so if we could just not fight amongst ourselves, you know, that would be nice. Kind of. So I just wanted to throw that in there.